All right, and we're live. Okay. So usually I have a co-host, and today we are running a bit unfortunate. Still at the same fucking spot. I'm gonna just let the intro music fucking do the work for me.
Hey yo, doctor, here's another proper track, and it's fat. Watch the sniper. Time to pay the piper and let that real shit provoke. See you.
Fucking chill easy. Yeah, no. Usually I do a fucking jig for y'all, but I'm not really feeling it, you slick bastards. I mean to get on the fucking mic and just say how it fucking is. Welcome to the Finer Things Club. That's about when I should have done the fucking intro music, but you know, I'm a little flustered today, so I don't think it's my A game. I don't think anybody respects me. First off, that's my main issue with the world. But the second is that nobody respects the not the hustle. I swear to God, this whole setup today was supposed to include an Israel and Friends episode. I scheduled my whole fucking day around it. This took planning for weeks, and literally, I'm sitting with these motherfuckers after they made bad decision after bad decision. Oop, crash the car. Oop, fucking drinking and driving. Oop, and this and that. Listen, motherfuckers, I've had about enough. So I'll probably just post this one first before I post any of the other shit that I've fucking been working on. And by the way, I over edit. That's why I'm giving a straightforward, pretty simple episode today. And look, it was perfect. Everything I had structured. We were gonna smoke, come in here, be super zen. I had a bunch of people that I had confirmation that they would come on the show. So, you know, that's why we have the setup that took them probably an additional 20 minutes to set up. And by the way, do I have anything to fucking... You know, I'm doing this no beanie today. That's how fucking pissed I am. Here we go. Here's the intro fucking... And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Finer Things Club.
Nigga, give me that. He can't get it back. Get him back. It ain't gon' have it now.
Let the beat right out, Jill.
I seen that chain on your neck, nigga, give me that. Tiny gon' be down for some time and he can't get it back. They took Uno and they think we ain't gon' get him back. Last baby born up in the east, it ain't gon' have a dad. Oh, he saying he a stepper, nigga, no he not. In middle school, I hold green pepper in my lunchbox. I caught a case and ain't no letters in my cell block. She gave me face and ain't no when I'm showing Glock. Already used to be a stepper, now he caught us off. I haven't heard.
Anyways, welcome to the Finer Things Club, everybody. I wanted, before we begin today's episode, I have a quick little monologue. Usually I don't do this, but I'm bringing it out today because I had some real special cooked up for the end of the fucking semester. End of the year, New Year's special. Bitch. Okay. So, recently I've been feeling a little aggrieved over a litany of things, just one thing after another, man. I mean, life really likes to hit me like that. Kick me when I'm down, you know what I mean? But likes to rob me when I'm sleeping. It likes to pour dirt on me and throw away all of my medication. It likes to steal tech decks that cost $80 for no reason. You remember the tech decks, the little shits you played with in high school? That one cost $80. Catch me on that one. It likes to break in unexpectedly. And by the time it's over, I'm found lying in a pool of my own piss and half a bottle of cheap wine, wasted on the couch with an Xbox controller that is not mine in my hands, with no recollection. Going to bed half naked and waking up fully clothed with shoes still on over 12 hours later. Almost failing my final exams, but by the grace of God, managing to fully grip the balls of the beast and swallow. Life likes to do this to me, where it will troll me with just enough hope and happiness to get me to believe that I can make something of myself in this great world. Life likes to reveal to people that I care about who I've really been sleeping with recently. Not recently. That's what a Freudian slip that one is. Life likes to reveal to me that there is truly nothing worth being revealed. Nothing to say at all at the end of the day. Life likes to do me in with my best friends turning their backs on me, forcing me to slam the door and sprint over to the recording studio I had booked days earlier, vigorously anticipating a final end of the semester Christmas party. Life has me on the ropes, and shouts out to my favorite Muslim other than Obama, Muhammad Ali. I like to rope-a-dope. That's not true. I probably Soleimani is my favorite. Life in the big city. Shout out Tim Dillon. Life is the worst thing to exist. And yet, without it, there would be no existence at all. Unless you buy the Bible thumping version of events to be true. And, some of us Catholics, myself included in that fucking category, are told to forgive, to live and let live, to turn the other cheek. And all of these are great characteristics and qualities, maybe things I used to do when I was younger and less jaded than I am today. But I personally find it more satisfying to dig a little deeper, to get in there. I like the gruesome qualities of life. The fact that, we don't really know what happened in Wuhan in the winter of 2019. We don't know if AI will replace us, if our government has already sold us out, or how long we've been getting fucked. My cousin texted me today, and, I love my cousin. My primo is truly one of the more resilient characters in this strange journey. And I'd like to have him on the pod one day to kind of discuss certain things, political mostly. But call me up. Just let me know that, he remembers who I am. And, that was a little glimmer of hope before the dark cloud of partisanship rolled in. Now, before I get into anything that I want to discuss in particular, I do want to say I love my cousin. He is the GOAT. Now, here's the pandemic. I was talking to my dad the other day, and my mother, she likes to rile me up. She goes, send in an old video of me hanging out with a friend who, I don't think we ever really had a falling out, but it was more so a parting of ways. Halloween 2017. No, no. That was a joke. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. I love you. Now, she was, and I had a comment and say, the rest of his journey, because she likes to portray me as bad and somebody else as good. Man, look at when you were happy and hanging out with the right people. Yeah, Mom. I agree. Those were the days, weren't they? Now, I didn't want to discuss on the podcast any of the details of the friendship, but some of y'all may know who it is, so I won't say any names, and I don't, want to bring too much upon myself, shit that I, may not be able to handle in the near future. But I would like to say this. Um, we need to speak about what happened to us, how we were screwed over. We need to drag our grievances along with us. Enough of this live and let live, forgive and forget. We need divine justice, and we need it now. Now, the Bible often talks about justice in a poetic sense. It will speak of, well, within that same dynasty, here's how that fell apart after they screwed over us, and God brought his wrath upon the valley. Or like how, oh, the children of Israel strayed in their ways. Bitch, if my children aren't doing drugs, you know how disappointed I'd be? I'd just be so disappointed. I'd be like, if they're not communist revolutionaries or like smoking a blunt in 10th grade, living a very decent life, acting like they need to liberate the bourgeois while maintaining the political status quo, me on top, of course. That's what she said. Now listen, then I would be disappointed. So why am I getting off on tangents? Okay, hold on. Okay, we want to move on and forget the horrible vitriol with which we were fucked in the ass. And I say no. I like to come on here as sort of like a ghoulish figure. I like to go, no. Like if Bakersfield is hell, then what emerges from the ashes? Rising phoenix, spreading love, light, and positivity to all of God's children, of course. No, so I like to talk about how fucked over I've been my whole life. So let's make some masks. Let's do that with our kids. We go, remember how, well, you wouldn't remember this, but 9/11 was, and it's like deeply affected the way we all travel. And like, you know, after 9/11, the security apparatus tightened its grip around the military industrial complex, and we've lost a lot of our civil liberties since, in the name of Homeland Security. And I would like to say that's kind of a mistake. I think many people admit that. I don't know what positions I hold that are controversial. I know they're controversial because some fucking retard would sit right next to me and tell me how George Bush was fucking the second coming of Christ. Enough already. So I like to say, let's make some masks. Let's make edibles in our dorm bathroom. Let's sell kids medical marijuana, offer them sex change surgeries. Let's prescribe them growth hormones and or prescription medication. Let's diagnose everybody with a mental illness. Everybody gets a little piece of the pie, if you know what I mean. I would like to speak about these things. I'd like to spread positivity on this show. So for Christmas this year, fucking Santa Israel is... That sounds like a fucking demonic figure in brujeria. Santa Israel. Santa Israel. I'm here to bring fucking love and light and truth and justice to all of you disenfranchised, disembodied youth. Disembodied? What the fuck? It's like the ghost of political past or some shit, you know, the ghost of fucking American politics. What am I talking about? Disembodied youth. Sounds like a Columbine shooting. I'm gonna sit with that bit for a second. Columbine. What happened there, I used to have a song that I would invent songs in high school. I was in choir. I was this faggy little kid. And I would go into the fucking choir bathroom and I would just just start freestyling. I'd get so fucking bored. I didn't know why I was in high school. Honestly, I like the Japanese model where it's mandatory to 8th grade, and then after that, you can learn a trade or you can go the academic route. And since it's so competitive in their culture, even with as few fucking children as they have, somebody needs to wash the toilets. They you know, they push their kids in some awful ways that, you know, it's why the suicide rates are so high. There's just an overwhelming amount of pressure in the Japanese culture, and I support it. If my kids aren't, you know, top scholars, I would have killed myself. Now listen, I'm being facetious, of course, but so is this whole fucking pod. So let's get into the Columbine shooting. I would have a song. You know that song? I'll pull it up. I'm only one call away. Yeah, and that was popular like in when I was in fucking elementary school. So I was like, well, fuck these, you know, pop culture bitches. You know, they like stupid ass music. So I have renditions to Taylor Swift songs with my own lyrics. I have a really good one too about school shootings. Hold on, let me get to this. One call away karaoke. Okay, that's a good one. We're gonna do karaoke on the pod.
Oh no, I forgot the gifts. There's like
Fucking ads. I'm too broke to get premium YouTube. Anyway, it's pretty good. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh wait, here. I'm only one call away. Hold on. Nah, they need to get to this. I'm gonna embarrass myself because I have to publish this now. Like, after they fucking insulted me, the people who are supposed to sit next to me today, and I just ran like Forrest Gump after he gets, you know how his retarded ass gets when he gets fucking sad. That's what I did. I was like hung up on some bitch who's doesn't give a fuck about me. I'm talking about my ex, by the way. Shawty, you know I love you. Bang my line. Now listen. I like how inherently vague that was. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Now that's how the normal version goes. I got my version. I'm only one call away. Wait, hold on. No. I'm only one bad day away. Coming to the school with a fucking AK. 'Cause Columbine got nothing on me. I'm only one bad day away. I'm gonna hit that new high score. What was it? What's the last one? The fucking not South Park, or what is it? What was the one that Alex Jones got sued over? Parkland. I'm gunning for a new high score. Parkland got 30, I can hit 30 more. How bad is this dude's aim? Where he's shooting that K? I'm gonna ruin the shooter's day. I'm gonna fit that new high score. I've been practicing on whores. The police don't know where them bullets are for. They label it a drive-by and keep on going. Get it? Because nobody cares about sex workers in this country. See, I love you, bae. I told you. Now, Jesus Christ, it's only been 19 minutes and this is the devious shit I'm on. I hate that I could see how long I'm going for. I should just be left in like a fucking small... okay, in high school, I had a teacher say that if she was locked in a basement, she could invent a new type of math if she was given enough time. It's kind of this argument of like monkeys in infinity will write Shakespeare given a typewriter. And you go, yeah, maybe not though. Maybe not. Anyway, when I get bored, I invent like school shooting songs that I think are kind of funny, that are like really fucked up. I don't like What's Wrong With Me. Now, before we get into that whole fucking set of skeletons, piled upon skeletons of dead hookers and school shooting victims in my closet, I want to get to a few topics. Now, here's my opening bit that I had fucking slated for when I was going to do a group episode. I proved the Jews were behind the Titanic. I heard this one. This is a good one. This is what I heard from the comments on Instagram. By the way, do not read Instagram comments. They will ruin your psyche in ways that I don't want to get into because, well, no, let's get into it. They are not real. Like, these aren't real people. No one is really creating these horrible amalgamations of cultural phenomena that we see in Instagram reels. This has never existed on the scale, and it's always existed in some scale, satirical dark humor, but the way that Instagram goes about pushing whatever they want, I mean, and it's not even about them. There is no person behind it. It's an algorithm. It pushes what's popular, what's prominent, what's interesting to people. And I never bought it for a second, you know, like I don't buy into AI is going to solve our problems. I go, do you fucking hear yourself? How dumb are these people that the arguments you come across on the fucking internet, or you just sit there and go, who the fuck raised you? And by the way, it's people like that in those comments that make me realize that I was right about everything. So here's my Jew joke. It's pretty good. Here's how I proved the Jews were behind the Titanic sinking. Just look at the surname of the look at the surname of that which struck it. Iceberg. Jewish surname, okay? And furthermore, this is the very chain of events that kickstarted World War I, which they funded, and World War II subsequently, which was the false flag murdering 271,000 of their own people for the creation of the modern state of Israel. Wrestling lands away from real Jews who were paid in full, devout believers, and created the hatred of the infidel, which feels the need to bomb their own non-existent state, secured by the forever victimized PLO. By the way, shouts out to Mahmoud Abbas, friend of the show and sponsor of today's first meeting of the Finer Things Club. Cue the intro music. That was supposed to be an opening bit. Now, why the fuck is no one here? There we go. That's its own question. And it's a joke for everyone. It's so fucking... I'm Catholic. We're always on the Jews' side. Across all of time. We sent thousands of newly formed, newly consolated centers of power in Europe to go fight stupid wars to ensure the fucking freedom and safety of the Jews. The Catholics and the Jews have worked hand in hand across the centuries. And even Hitler says this shit, you know? Like, well, I don't... Fuck, that's probably a detriment to my point. But, I mean, you know, I don't know. Like, you go so far anti-Semite, you actually loop around and you smack it straight on the head. And you go, well, maybe the Jews were pretty good. Compared to the fucking other people around them, you know? I mean, if you read the Bible. And none of these fucking idiots on the internet are educated anyway. Nobody in real life is educated anymore. I'm at a university. You know how little pushback I get on any of my radical ideas? Everyone looks at me like I smoke crack. And that's what they use to discredit. So I want to get into one of these songs. It's unreleased, so I think I'm allowed to play it. Maybe it might be released. These samples might not be cleared, by the way, because... ladies and gentlemen, I present Kanye West.
Oh my God, Ronnie.
Can't wait to see a new body. Don't be acting like he don't know nobody. Nobody count on your nobody.
Get him, Kanye. Get him, Kanye.
First one ain't your nobody. Whoa.
New ass, new tits, new phone, who this, who else, you know, this bad with 2 kids. So listen, I do not support Kanye's ideology, but I ain't gonna lie. It is some of the funniest shit. By the way, you know how hard it is to get banned on all social media platforms? It's really hard. Only a creative, brilliant genius such as Kanye West. I feel bad for whatever the fuck happened to him. I mean, I specifically overdrank, so I'd be funny for today. But with Kanye, it's like he did meth and acid at the same time, which is the theory pushed by Alex Jones. It makes sense. I've done a lot of drugs in my time, and which leads me to my next topic. So I want to get into this. I wonder what you guys think of this shit. Here's the video that I'm going to play for y'all about, I think it is, I have it saved here. I love YouTube. Sponsor me. No, I have a video I'm going to play here for you guys that may or may not influence your opinion on certain things. I have friends who tell me all the time, you should do this. It's like right up your alley. You just want to like be in another universe for a second. And I'm like, nah, I mean, maybe when I was younger, I used to like wish that I'd wake up and have a different family. Just be called a different name. I like to daydream a lot, like as a kid. I still do that shit. I need to quit, kind of. I need to retire from like being idealistic. Now, I present to you Vice TV.
Allow me to introduce you to the most unusual trans-neoclaridane diterpene found in nature. Its origins are obscure, its natural distribution controversial. The effects of smoked salvia extracts are dramatic. Immediate onset, short duration, and a complete loss of connection to consensus reality. And starting in 2005, a video hosting service called YouTube made it possible to share these once private experiences.
Okay. I've had enough about fucking Vice covering drugs and making them sound so fucking lovely. I mean, that whole documentary on the ketamine experience and like the new wave of users in the economy and how there's an economy created. So by the way, whenever people talk about drugs, they oftentimes miss the economy aspect of it, the distribution, the retail, the who's behind the growing, the process, the whatever. And you know, and a lot of people group certain things. They're not as educated on chemistry as, you know, Mr. White himself here, you know, y'all. But I would like to say the salvia experience is one of my most coveted drug experiences. I want to do it so bad. And I mean, to be honest with you, it's by far the scariest one, because that, like, those, I mean, you'll be fine, you'll come back down, but there are some drugs, like if you overdose on acid, you might never come back down. And so, and those are the hardest ones to gauge. So I try to stay away from acid because I know some people myself who've never came back. I almost didn't come back from my own psychedelic adventure. But by and large, that wasn't the results of any drug experience. That was probably maybe a catalyst for deeper underlying mental things. But anyway, enough of me. Let's talk about, the salvia. I'd be fascinated to try it. Anyone who has salvia, bang my line right now. I'll do it with you. We'll do it live on air on this podcast. Oh my God. For the 10th episode, we do salvia here. I don't know if we could say that legally. is real. I need to watch my words. But hey, there's nobody here to tell me how to go about this. Everyone flaked. So you guys get to watch this from your TV and your couch that you never get off of. And you're so comfortable with just being lazy. I have another video for everybody. It is called The Roast of Weed, and it is with some other substances that have become my friends, you know.
When world-famous pop star Jet Jingle shows up in a small town to save their Christmas...
What the fuck are these ads?
Seriously, Weed, if it wasn't for you, I'd never learn how many desserts I could fit into one bowl. The answer is 5 in a burrito. Hey, meth's also here. You know what the cool thing about meth is? That you can make it anywhere, except in a nice neighborhood with good schools. Let's not be too hard on meth. He's the only drug who's aged 5 years since we cut away from him. Oh, Jesus. Even I couldn't make that look good. Well, guys,
Meth
it's been a
is
blast,
too
and I
dirty
look forward
for
to
me.
seeing
I
you
would
all
never
again
try
at
it.
Andy Dick's Christmas party.
This is mine.
Weed, you pathetic excuse for a drug. Seriously, your users have less balls than steroids. Let's see who else we got here. Oh, Adderall, is that you? Adderall, buddy, I haven't seen you since college. Everybody, Adderall, the only drug that makes you stay up all night so you can't have fun. Yeah. And opium, how the hell did you hear about this? Telegram.
Bro, by the way, the
And
sick
look,
voice is so
Shrooms
mean.
is here. Kind of. Hey, Ecstasy, give him a poke. Make sure he's still alive. I said poke, not a full body cavity search. Jesus. My God, somebody toss that kid a glow stick or something. But seriously, Weed, I don't know what we'd do without you. Besides move out of our parents' basement.
Which is true. I think far too many people, especially like recently with the legalization of marijuana, recently, too many people go, oh, it's perfect. You can't ever die on it, and it's so safe, and you know this and that, and you just hear about all these great benefits that every form of weed has all the time. Let's just do weed every day. Let's be stoned when we go to do this, and stoned in this, and stoned in that. And one thing you notice with those sorts of people is at the end of the day, their favorite place happens to be on the fucking couch. I know some people who actually manage to be super productive and smoke a ton of pot, and I applaud those people. But oftentimes, the weed crowd is the most annoying. Oh, we gotta do this, and oh, we gotta do that. Oh, weed. I'm happy Brogan broke your bong. Fuck you, Brian. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. I'm so sick of that shit, dude, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not... I personally don't enjoy it. I prefer maybe like a couple bong rips, a lot of liquor. I'm an alcoholic. I could admit that. Yeah, I'll admit it on air. I have struggled with maybe getting a little too tipsy. I like to spend money on buying like legal substances, like, and not formerly illicit ones where we could go, oh, you know, we're so slick with it. You know, I can't believe this is legal now. Let's give it to everybody. Enough. There's something so nice about a nice cocktail. Gin. I like gin. I like tequila. Oh, fuck. Tequila. What else is good? Cranberry vodka. Mimosas. Bitch. Beer. Even just low rent beer, I'd prefer. And by the way, I only drink Old English 800s, the 40 ounces with the 7.5 that can't literally legally classify as beer because it's 7.5. It's considered malt liquor and only black people drink it. I like that type of shit. You know what I mean? Even that. Now, what I won't do is Molly at a rave with beatboxes and Four Locos and buzz balls. I mean, although I do like the green and the strawberry flavored buzz balls. Those are really good. The lime and the the strawberry. And I will probably drink the Four Loko too. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of the whole energy drink. What is it? Pharmaceutical drug, or like semi-pharmaceutical drug experience. This something too artificial. Recently, actually, I got into a little thing called like 7-O's over the summer. Shouts out to anybody who knows about 7-O crowd. You know, we used to do 7-O's at the park and get fucked up. Bro, I went home with the guy off the 7-O. That's how good it was. By the way, the moment I knew I was staying the night was I heard like the fucking purr of the motorcycle. I'm not even gay, by the way. I heard the purr of the motorcycle under my ass. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna do some sinning tonight, boys. Yeah, fucking mean. I said, oh. Now, granted, it might have been a little over the top of a reaction that I have a visceral reaction to. What's the actual name of the drug? It's a kratom derivative, and it is just recently, like over the summer, got classified as a dangerous drug, and then they shut it down. But it was so new that they were able to sell it as a pain reliever in smoke shops. I've had a couple of experiences with shit like that, you know, where you go, how is there not psilocybin in these chocolate bars? I was tripping all night, and me and my friend look at each other and we go, read the ingredient list. There's no mushrooms actually in here. What the fuck were we getting high on? And buddy, by and large, the reason that these are able to be sold in smoke shops is because they are research chemicals. And guess who's the experiment? Us. So they're classified as something different legally. It's pretty interesting shit. You know, you guys should check it out. Let me see. 7-O. 7-O withdrawal Reddit. This is located on samhsa.gov. Oh shit. Yeah, I might have fucked this one up. 7-O withdrawal. 6 days in, symptoms of withdrawal are not subsiding. But he was taking 3 to 4 mg every day, so for months. So that's kind of on him. How long does it take? Oh shit. So detection in your blood or whatever, it's detectable for up to 6 or 7 half-lives, meaning it's a slow burn, so your withdrawal is going to be pretty shit. But, you know, I don't do drugs anymore. Now listen, I really don't. I stick to mostly cigarettes and liquor, with the occasional sprinkling of pot or like ecstasy or something. But no illicit drugs, I don't think. By the way, you'd know what I'm talking about if you heard me say ecstasy, and you know this is a street drug, and they go, it is kind of dangerous, and they go, well, what does he mean? He doesn't. It's legal. Now, the current drug classifications for ecstasy are a little ambiguous, and they're changing. The laws around certain substances are changing, such as ketamine being for therapeutic use. And it was never really criminalized. Now, will the laws catch up and catch ketamine? Maybe. But, you know, I mean, I don't do intravenous or nothing, so I wouldn't be scared myself personally. It is a dangerous drug. You can piss your bladder out. There will be blood in your piss if you do drugs. Enough of the drug talk, though. I mean, my parents probably listening, so shouldn't say anything too crazy, you know what I mean? Pete Buttigieg is gay. Did you guys know this? I have all these fucking bits that don't work because nobody shows up for me. Not a single goddamn person shows up for me ever when I need them. So I have to do a solo pod. I mean, there's nothing else. I'm not going to cancel. There's good people at Backdoor Studio are getting paid too much for me to not waste their time. Anyways, I have another good bit. Mm. Wow. When did I fucking write this? Oh shit. This is dumb. Okay, well, I had for the intro, it was gonna be, or the intro song was gonna be Unreleased Kanye, which I played probably about 4 songs by now anyways. Dear reader, you may be wondering what my point is. There is none. The too long didn't read this pod is that it is my personal diary entry, because I cannot understand why I was forced into this hellhole of a system in the first place. This is a letter to my rehab. It was my friend, not myself, that couldn't handle the liquor. I've been drinking far too long not to pass out like a little bitch. Oh wait, I've been drinking for far too long to pass out like a little bitch and not be able to wake up for class. I've been doing that shit since I started. And I know at a certain point, at a certain age, I will wake up one day and be like, I think I'm done. And never touch anything else for the rest of my life. I'll pick one girl, call it a day. I'll truly settle down and settle my differences with some friends and family who I might have ruined a relationship with. But matter of fact, I'm going to drink after this right now. Let's celebrate. I mean, I just made it through a really hard fucking year. I made so much progress in my own personal life, and it'd be stupid for me to go, well, I think I'm going to go sober. How fucking boring are you, lad? Get the fuck up. I'm going to turn into Conor McGregor right now. Get the fuck off if you're watching this and you're young and impressionable, like high school age or so, get off your ass and go in your mom's purse. There's like $20 or $30 in there. Find the, skinny, shady, little tall, just hit a growth spurt. He's catching heat with the ladies, wasn't he back then? Wasn't he? Now, find that guy and have him steal you a bottle of Grey Goose vodka. And when was this? I was around the 7th grade at this time. And he's going to go to his local Target or Walmart or Ralph's. Rite Aid got shut down. CVS, maybe. I mean, they don't lock up the liquor there either. Maybe Target might be a little risky, but they have a better selection, so you could get that girl whatever she wants. And you find that kid if you're, some innocent young lady, and pay him for a water bottle full of that substance that next day. Now, the kid, he's going to run down the street off of his bike, hop off the Porsche, hop out the Porsche into a Porsche. I'm going to turn into a SoundCloud rapper. Gang, gang. I'm going to get a grill. I'm going to get a gold grill. I'm going to deck my cat out. My pussy going to have a grill. my pussy cat going to have... I got to stop. My pussy cat going to have a gold grill, gold tooth, permanent. And if I ever run into some shit, I'm going to knock that fucking cat out, screw out his tooth, wake it back up, give it some milk, and sell his tooth. And buy myself just one more good line. One more good line of ketamine. God, it was so good. Now, that poor kid is probably more of a victim than the bitch who got scammed for fake Grey Goose, and instead he gave her Popov, the one with the communist logo, the little Kremlin in the background with the red star, because it is a Russian branded vodka. I don't know if it's produced in Russia, but it is the worst experience I have had in my youth. And it wasn't really even my fault. I just had just such a sense of emptiness. I don't know. I don't know. By the way, let me tell you something. As a little one, I would... You remember how, as a little kid, you would fake an illness to not go to school. I would go to school not do any fucking homework, read all day, and then once I finished my favorite book and I was bored, I would just go, you know what? I don't feel good. I'd be like, I'd go to the front office. I'd tell the nurse, yeah, miss, I don't know. And since I was quite literally always sick as a child, they were like, yeah, well, okay. And they'd call my grandma. My grandma would pick me up. She'd be like, well, you're hanging out with grandma today. My parents didn't raise me. And I would go with grandma, and I got to get popsicles and shop with her and just eat. I loved to eat as a little kid. And then I would sit and watch TV in her room. I would just sit in her bed and lie there and watch TV. Later on, that turned into, like, you know, stealing sherry wine out of her cabinet. Now, that's not my fault anyways either. This poor young innocent Israel, 14 years old, throwing up, doesn't want to go to school. Same shit, different story. I mean, and by the way, I was there that time in, what is it, the spring of 9th grade or whatever, because I was kicked out of my mom's house for the weekend because I was being bad anyways. She was like, go stay with your grandma. You better not give her shit. And I was like, fuck you. I'm going to get drunk here anyway. What a wild year. That's the same year I got kicked out of my mom's house for reals. Like, literally a year later, a calendar year later, I ended up getting expelled from my family home. By the way, it was already over for me after they moved out the house that I grew up in. I was like, I have no respect for that house. I used to do drugs there. And I was like, well, I don't really have any respect for anywhere else I go. I'll just be a nomad. Shouts out to Erez Ben Yusuf. I'm trying to have him on the pod before he goes back to... oh, my God. Before he goes back to Israel. Get back to work, Matt Walsh. Whoosh, whoosh. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. By the way, I've always thought Matt Walsh was a pussy. Not that I think Nick Fuentes is fucking better, but I've always thought Matt Walsh was a pussy. I'm not a liberal. I'm a leftist. I'm like in the Soviet Union, I would be considered a conservative in the Soviet Union. I'd be like, well, maybe let's treat the gypsies well. But, they didn't treat anybody well. They still steal and pickpocket today in Europe. Gypsies, I'm sorry. Whoever's watching that may be a Romani. We love you, but stop. Get a job. Get back to work, Matt Walsh. But anyway, he's so fucking funny. He's so entertaining that it makes him and Candace tolerable. I hate both of those fucks. By the way, if you really want to know who killed Charlie Kirk or like why or whatever, you would have been paying attention a long time ago. And you would have realized that TPUSA was always a front for the fucking Mossad. You would realize that there were backdoor negotiations with some of Bibi's closest allies and the coalition government that they had that was getting protests and riots in the street in Israel months before the October 7th and subsequent war. I'm not an advocate for any one group. I'm saying to the people at home listening right now, you guys are dumb if you want to believe in any of these fucking false messiahs. Look at Trump. Look at anybody who's connected to him. And guess where that all ends up? I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make it. Oh, I'm an island boy. By the way, when I was a kid, I wish I got fucked by a politician. Maybe I would have been in the room with somebody who has real fucking money. I've never... By the way, me and Nick Fuentes probably have the same fantasies, I ain't gonna lie. I would suck Bill Clinton's dick right now. Right now, I would suck his dick. This is a hack joke. Excuse me. This is a hack joke at this point, but like, I would for sure. I mean, I don't care what he's done. He's the last president to have the budget balanced. The last one. You know how many fucking presidents since him we've had? You know how bad things are right now? You know why inflation's this bad? Because sometimes you gotta let a few airplanes full of coke fly in to fund the Sandinista war, and some boys may or may not die on the train tracks because they saw something they shouldn't have seen. And then you need a governor to come in, you know, smooth out the wrinkles with the Omaha scandal, the middle of nowhere states where people traffic kids or drugs or launder money, where no one's paying attention. And you need people like Bill Clinton to go, well, it's for the greater good. Good. By the way, when have I never not supported tying up a noose? You gotta tie up loose ends. I like that him and his wife are murderers. They kill people. By the way, what if it was a body double? Bill, bro, there's a new island. Next season on Love Island. There's a wild theory. I remember like back in the day that fucking the Island Boys had been trafficked by the Gates family. Before I just start leveling accusations, I need to level out my fucking back. I'm gonna get a real chair for a second. I mean, just to finish out the episode. I'm like tearing my back to shreds. And I have a few more topics that we need to get to. This is actually a pretty good segue into what I was trying to put on. This is a really good segue.
Isn't he sort of hypocritical that people wouldn't have been mad at Epstein if the people on his island were consenting adults?
Well, listen, you make that your public opinion.
That's the new trend right now. It's defending Epstein.
Y'all came in with a song.
Y'all came in with a song.
Bitch, I play it wrong. Yeah.
Bitch, I play.
Yeah. What do you think?
Nah. No way. Tim Dillon popped up on my fucking. On my save to later. Well, I'll just play this. This is
There are 3 simple solutions that organizations can take to help their employees really play around with AI tooling.
Oh, here's really good.
There are many figures in our society who contribute an enormous amount to our culture, and people who have unconventional personal lives, and yet they seem exempt from criticism. You know, Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No, let me finish.
I see it.
Jeffrey Epstein.
I see it.
No one, criticizes him, and yet.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That is a double standard.
Jim,
it's wrong.
Jim,
And
hold
it's
on.
okay.
Hold on.
Look,
Hold
comment-
on. Much has been said about Jeffrey Epstein. Terrible things.
No,
have been
Jeff. I'm talking about Jeff Epstein, the New York financier.
Yes, we're talking about the same Jeff Epstein.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I never heard.
Oh, it was a big story in the news. Huge.
No.
Yes, for you to say no one ever
Jeff
said.
Epstein.
Yes.
JeffEpstein.
Yes, the financier.
With the island.
The
Yes, he had
financier.
an island that I've never been to. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, with respect, if there was some news about Jeff Epstein, I would have heard.
No, I don't know what rock you've been under. It was a huge story, and Jeff Epstein I have to tell you, he's gone. He's dead.
What do you mean?
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's
No.
dead.
Sorry, nice try. If Jeff Epstein were deceased, I'm pretty sure I would know about it. Now, I admit I've not, probably since the pandemic, I have not talked to him.
That would make sense. That would make
But
sense. He's been dead for a number of years, Jim.
I'll tell you, there's one easy way.
My
Let's
back
call
feels
Ghislaine
so good
Maxwell.
right
No, we're not calling Ghislaine Maxwell.
Why not? Okay.
She's in prison. She's imprisoned for crimes she committed with Jeff Epstein.
Ghislaine's in prison.
Yes, stop calling her Ghislaine. How do you know these people? Jim.
Conan.
Jim.
All right.
Jim, listen.
Okay.
Listen
I'm
to
just
me.
saying, I'm your friend. You know what? It doesn't matter what you do in your private or personal.
I don't do anything in my private life.
Okay.
So that's a fun fucking bit. I really have never liked Conan O'Brien. I've always thought he was like some sort of fucking shill for not shill, I guess. I think a lot of those certain talk shows are like, and I'm guilty of this right now. I'm hosting one. No one's gonna watch this shit. Nah, I think a lot of the talk show hosts are oftentimes, you know, guilty of the sort of circus shit that, you know, during the fall of the Roman Empire, the citizens, there's growing civil unrest within the Roman populace, and they would throw these ornate, you know, it's been said before. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but they would have these fucking gladiator battles, and you know, they were free to the public, and the public would come and they'd hand out bread, and you know, they'd hand out wine in the streets, and you're just supposed to feel patriotic whenever the Sunday football game comes on. Whenever Conan O'Brien sits down to talk to you, the American viewer, at night, you're supposed to feel some sort of relief. This Jimmy Fallon type of guys. But I like that he's doing a podcast. Oh God, you know, and by the way, the only reason I'm hopping on a podcast and talking shit and running my mouth is because I have a lot of beef. I'm a very aggrieved person. I don't know why. You know, I wish I could find happiness, find God. Well, I'm already religious. What can you do? Belief in something? Let me say this too, by the way. This is never said. I've never heard this argument made. Belief in anything is so unfulfilling. Like in any one thing, like belief in a religious system, in a government system, in an economic system. Belief in anything is so unfulfilling because you follow it to its natural conclusion, and every time it results in somebody is unhappy somewhere. And, you know, life is not about always being happy or always, you know, being satisfied or fulfilled in everything you do. But I think large percentage of the time, you should have a sense of purpose. And religion, for all of its benefits, has never given me that. Like, I just sit back and I go, great, I'll be a better person. Great, I'm going to heaven. Great. Why am I here anyway? Oh, it's to test you. By the way, I don't think that even Christ might have thought that. I don't know what, by the way, Christ across cultures and religions is such an enigmatic character. Oh my God, what the fuck is happening? Enigmatic character where they don't know what he really thought. It's clear that some people have a false interpretation and they go, well, it's to test you. Test you for what? I've never viewed God as fair. If God was fair, why am I unhappy? Why am I born with an innate sense of purposelessness? There are certain things that give me purpose, but I can't do them forever. I'll burn out within the first hour of whatever the fuck I'm doing. I mean, look at this podcast. It's only been an hour, and I've said pretty much everything that I've needed to say. So whether it's, you know, the Sunday night football or the Conan O'Brien or the Jimmy Fallon or the fucking, you know, the Friends, the beer, the anything, there's no point to any of this shit. If heaven's just one big party, which I hope it isn't, and I hope it's something more than that, it would be pretty repetitive. In the same way this lifetime here on Earth is. I mean, I believe it all, which is, by the way, I had a conversation with my dad. We were talking with him and his friend because I was in a program in high school called Virtual Enterprise, and you know nobody gave me the time of day. I've never been professional. I've never been able to put on an act. Other than like a fun act. People like to hang out with me. Not really. No. But like I'm a conversationalist. I like to party, you know. But anyway, they didn't really enjoy that much of that in high school. They were like, "No, you got to be serious. This might take you to college." Da da da. Bitch, please. I never wanted to go to college. I was like, you know, I was kind of this laid back stoner who was like, I'm gonna build a fucking culinary empire one day. I'm gonna run restaurants, bitch. And by the way, that took all of my teachers by storm because I was in the highest classes. They're like, well, why the fuck are you here? It's like, I'm only here so I could graduate early. I'm only here so I could fucking leave. And they're like, okay. Anyway, I don't know, but anyway, I still have beefs with certain people, and my pride and my ego will not let me drop out of college because I'm like, well, if I'm doing something, I gotta do it all the way. I gotta finish first. I gotta be the fastest. I gotta be. By the way, any of my ideas never pan out. Like, you cannot see the reasonable end to my rational conclusion to any of my plans, and they all end in like heroin overdose behind a dumpster somewhere. So, anyway, but this conversation with this guy, my dad's colleague, he runs the whole thing. And I was talking to him, and I was like, hi, you know, I used to hobnob with these type of people. Networking is what they call it, but you're in high school, so it's not really networking. It's like an intro to networking. And intro to sales, intro to networking, intro to management, intro to writing, really, because I was a writer. I was never a presenter when I did it for reals. And then when I did it to fuck around with my girl, I was on the marketing team because me and her like loved psychology for some reason. By the way, the most mentally unfit people and the most unfit people for each other. Bitch, if you don't commit to your fucking husband or me, do what you want. I never told her that. Most other suicidal bitches, I tell them to do what they want. And her, I've always had kid gloves. I've always treated her with respect. And look at where that gets me. A broken heart, multiple STDs, and the title of covetous adulterer. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm on about. That bitch never gave me no STDs. She could have, though. Slut. No. It's a joke, babe. Don't. Anyway, she stabbed a guy. That guy was me. I'll take blame. No. And it was my fault, too. I deserved it. No, what am I going to talk about? I have like 10 minutes left. God. You know, this silence is pretty nice because I'll say this. VE. Yeah, I was talking about that. Anyway, the friend of my dad's, he like runs the whole thing. And it's this huge, or maybe he's just the regional manager for California, but it's this huge student network for high school kids. It's extracurricular. There's a class for it. And you could take that class, and it's competition-based, and you have a ton of competitions, and there's a lot of things you can do. You create a company, create products, methods to sell. You know, you write a whole business plan. It's the whole script, buddy. And it's like the reason why some of my friends are in business school right now. And I go, well, you know, maybe I might end up doing that one day. And it opened the door, you know. When I inevitably needed a place to live after, you know, getting out the mental hospital, and I was like, well, college route, you know, I need time. But, like, I feel like I could go into culinary right now and be just fine. I wouldn't have any problems. I'm ready to fly, you know. I've been learning to fly, and now I'm ready for it. What a great Pink Floyd song, by the way. Anyway, the conversation with my friend's dad. God damn it. Anyway, he realized, he goes, oh, I was, you know, I just got married. We were like one of the first Unitarian or humanist weddings in Ireland. He talked like this, you know, he had an Irish accent. I go, anybody with a fucking Irish accent should be in the back of a restaurant not wearing a suit unless they're Conor McGregor. That whole population, so uneducated, so retarded. They only are good at 2 things, drinking and telling stories. And their food is pretty good, considering they're from the British Isles. Why the fuck do they speak English? Don't they have their own language? Now, listen, I'm not going to get into the IRA, but we did have a brief discussion as he noted that he grew up in Northern Ireland. I go, that's fascinating, dude. Was it rough? He was like, yeah. The troubles, it was kind of blown a bit out of proportion, but, since it's such a small nation, yeah, it was kind of rough. And I go, listen, I hope you guys get hit with another round of Irish car bombs if the referendum doesn't get fucking passed. That was a part of the fucking Good Friday agreements. I don't want to get into Northern Irish politics. I don't really, but it comes down to culture and religion. And he goes, well, yeah, we were one of the first humanist weddings in Northern Ireland, in Ireland at all. And to tell you the truth, I said, well, to tell you the truth, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I wish you and your wife the best of luck. And my dad's right there, the fucking Christian nationalist, who married a Mexican, by the way. I mean, he's not a racist, but why? If you're gonna believe in Christian nationalism and you want the country to look like what it did in the 80s, in the 90s, even a little bit before that, there's this run from the 50s to the 2000s of generational prosperity. And I'm going to say, yes, there were rough patches all throughout the societies that, every society has their problems. So I don't want to say that it was always such a rosy fucking picture, but there was a sense of prosperity in the nation. And that doesn't exist anymore. Partially due to people like my father who are so just down with everybody has their own beliefs, and every culture should be polymorphous, and you should have multiple facets of society, and I'll have my beliefs, and I think things are this way, but you know what, it's okay if they don't. Why not extremism? Why not fascism? I'm a communist, but I'd welcome anything at this fucking point. As long as there's a roast fucking turkey on the table for fucking Thanksgiving, I don't give a fuck. I'll wave a swastika around as long as there's money in my fucking bank account. Do I care? My cousin asked me, he goes, did you vote for Trump? It does matter. I go, bro, I'm in Pinche California way. There's no fucking, it's the Democratic Party only here. So would it matter if I voted for Trump? Not really. I did it for the statistic to go, yeah, this is an anti-Kamala vote, the same way that people voted for Trump just to have an anti-Hillary vote. And by the way, I supported Trump's first election bid after Hillary threatened to kill Bernie Sanders if he didn't drop out the race. That's an accusation, and I don't think it's a good one. I don't think it's a fair point to make, because I don't think she threatened to kill him, but she does have a reputation. And the DNC is notoriously run by these mobster families who cut up states like California into partisan ways so they can send contracts to their friends who help them lobby. I'm not a fan of that. There's the system as it exists right now does not work. I mean, I'm from the Central Valley. We're the shit of the shit. We're the shit of the most beautiful state. And you want to see how fucked up our cities are? Go to Hemet. Go to anywhere in the Inland Empire. Go to Stockton. Not Stockdale. That's a really nice high school at in Bakersfield, California. Shouts out to Samir Manchanda and the whole gang of kids I was just playing with at the rec. They had on nice shoes, nice shirts, beautiful pants. Ooh, they were so fine. Nice haircuts. They look good. They smell good. They're like, really like white, One was Arab, but they're all from Bakersfield and they all went to Stockdale High. So I was like, holy shit, do you know my friend? And they were like, yeah. Because I was, and I said, the first thing I said when they mentioned that they went to Stockdale High, I go, checks out. you know, rich white boys. And, you know, I'm okay with rich white people. But when there's no path forward for most anybody, and you're looking at the elimination of around 40% of the job market within the next 10 years due to the fucking tech bro dictatorship and the hold that they have on this fucking country, the monopoly of power that they have on this country at the current incarnation of it, and you go, what the fuck? Why are we selling H-1B visas to a bunch of the Chinese? Why are students from India, China, South Korea, like we're literally exporting our academic and the real ladder of social mobility to, and by the way, in a system that is designed to make oodles and oodles of money. And it really is propping up the current the state. By the way, what a beautiful idea, whoever decided to like synthesize the government with education. Really brilliant. I mean, the church used to do that shit. I mean, they still do it in some ways. But by the way, I used to go to a fucking Christian nationalist school myself. I've bounced onto a bunch of them. I got kicked out of Warren Junior High in Bakersfield, California, for selling vodka and firecrackers in the 7th grade. The last week of school, they had me suspended. They're like, just get through the fucking year, and you have to go somewhere else. It's like, fuck. So I was like, well, would I go to Legacy? Would I go to, what are the other, what can I name drop? Anyway, I'm not going to name drop anything. I was Legacy. What was the other continuation schools? Vista. No, but that's for high school. Vista West. No, and then I was like, nah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just grind this out, you know. So I just kept bouncing around from middle school to middle school, just being a little degenerate and like getting in fights about culture and money and politics in like 8th grade. By the way, it was then and there that everyone should have knew how the story of Israel Stuebbe concludes. I still don't know how it's going to conclude, by the way. I'm trying to wrap up this season of it, but, you know, God, it's been a very long fucking season, isn't it? The holiday season is taxing on those of us who enjoy our substance abuse. December is a nice month for drugs because it's so fucking cold, but there's still enough moisture in the air from the fall to where the leaves are on the ground, the trees are almost empty, and the fog will carry smoke throughout the air. There's nothing better than snow next to no snow because it is the Central Valley of California where I grew up in. There is nothing better than a pandemic hitting right before you get kicked out of your last elementary school. There is nothing better than missing your freshman year of high school and never starting a senior one. Nothing better. I think it is purely the path that I should have taken, and I'm grateful for it. 3 years of high school, 3 years of college, half a year of middle school. What a beautiful education I've gotten, 1.5 years of middle school. It's been fragmented, and it's really stunted my development. I mean, even like mentally, I've had quite a stunted development because I was never around kids my age. I was always around older kids and often kids from bad areas. I was not in the crowd that I should have been in. And looking back on it, I should have always been right there next to some Chinese businessman's son, shaking his hand and talking about how much I enjoyed golf. What a good sport golf is. You can just, here, look, let me show you guys my swing, I'm gonna put one last song to fucking end us all out, But, let me show you guys my swing. Well, you know what? Learning to Fly is a perfect song for this because I already referenced it. Yo, Rage Baiter, when you leaving tomorrow? Oh, I love him. I love my friend. As much as I hate him, I do love him. By the way, this is literally like semi-professional rage bait. That's what I'm trying to do here. Learning to fly. Pink Floyd. Eczema. But with Ebglyss. With all the fucking prescription medications, the therapies, the trying to get to the bottom of it. I just want to get to the bottom of whatever my son's going through. That's what every parent thinks, when they have someone like me, But I'll tell you this one, folks. I was doing drugs from a very young age, and I knew who I was, That is not what truly or should have been me, It's kind of what things ended up as. Regardless of how they should have went, it's a good lesson. Let me share my golf swing. Okay. Hold on. I hate poor people. Okay, here's a good one. This was from my friend. Shouts out to this dude. He's a rich kid from Dubai. No, not Dubai. What's the other one? Bangladesh. And he goes, "My country's overpopulated. We should send them all to Siberia." What a fucking swing on that guy, and the ball travels thousands of miles, and, it hits some poor person, gross, they don't count, and it hits him in the head. He goes, headshot, that's one. He's, 10 points, It's people like that who have, like, no souls, but are some of the funnest people. Me and this motherfucker used to get so drunk. We met at a party, I think. I don't know how the fuck we met, but he was the only kid at my school who was rich as fuck from a foreign country and had a rose tattoo like a fucking SoundCloud rapper on his neck. And I was like, this motherfucker's so badass. And then he'll hit me with this one at a party, right when the music kicks in. I had a whole, like, those communities, the slums? I had a whole one of those burned down because they stole my soccer ball. What a fucking golf swing. And the ball travels. Let's keep going. It's flying. Come on, Pink Floyd, don't let me down, bro. These songs are fucking long as hell. And the ball's flying. And you see it hit. And where's it going? Oh my god. It's through the first window of the Oval Office. Oh my god, it hit Monica Lewinsky right as she's blowing Donald's dick. Right as he's blowing Bill's dick. You know what I mean? He got caught blowing Bubba. What a good little boy. Oh no, Donnie. My Bangladeshi homie's coming for you. By the way, that guy loved Trump. He loved, enough of you, Pink Floyd. He loved Trump. Like with a passion, like with the vitriol. He was like, Donald J. Trump is one of the greatest leaders. And I was like, oh my God, please don't tell people that. He used to get so many bad women. I think he has a girlfriend now, so I'm not going to mention a ton of fun details, but I would just find people. I would hear sounds coming from his fucking room. He would have closed the window. He liked the cold air. And I was like, oh my God. How? He has he's like one of the worst people I know. By the way, it's a lot of rich kids who are like that. Like have no conscience. I don't do anything too bad. But I won't say I'm a saint. By the way, it's only the poor people who could go, maybe I did fuck up. You know what? Yes, Donnie. Yes, Mr. Clinton. Look, what was I going? I think I could wrap this up with a bit. I started with my cousin. I think I could finish with him. So anyway, he said, I said, okay. He goes, Clinton is bad, Trump is bad, Schumer and Pelosi, bro, we're going to talk more about this. I have a good feeling we can make change. As Latinos who are educated, we have the one up. We can represent for La Raza, especially you, because, you know, with business and shit. This is a very versatile degree. And I go, Primo, I love me some hombres. Los mujeres call me a gringo papi. And I say, I love it. I just love it. And one day, I'm going to build a golf course in Mexico. And we're going to send all the Hondurans back to where they came from. I would have no problem with the Hondurans. I really don't. Mexican were better, but I have no problem with any Latinos in the greater Latino community. The ones I don't like are the Chinese and the Somalis. I think that both have a right to be here. Historically, America has done some fucked up shit to both of those places. You know, worked in tandem to bring opium along with Britain and France to China, forcing docks to open. And then it's those same people who go, yeah, we shouldn't have the Chinese study here, that go, free Hong Kong, democracy in Hong Kong. I go, no, let them do what they want. They signed the contract. Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract, big boy. I have one more last piece of information I need to disseminate. I've been hinting at it all fucking episode. I've been hinting at it, but I think I'm going to really get into it right now. Let me tell you something, you bum bitch. That's a fucking Tim Dillon reference. I swear to God, me and him have so much in common. Tim, let's start like a fake internet relationship like Candace and Nick Fuentes. It'll be so much fun. All podcasters should have a fake relationship with each other. I call it fake dating. Now, it's similar to dating, real dating, except both of you have simulated friendships that turn into simulated romantic relationships. I am out of my fucking mind. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking like this, but I have to clear this up. Okay? Sharar. I've talked about this issue on a couple of podcasts now. I think since the beginning, this is some of the good beefs of the Finer Things Club. I invited him to come on the show today, and he blocked me because of it. He saw it. For sure he got it. He blocked me after getting this. Didn't even leave me on read. Left me on deliver. So I feel like I have, you know, and by the way, I sent him something really nice. I said, hey, you want to come on my podcast tonight and clear the air? I'm doing an episode at the Backdoor Studio, after party at the after party for the thing too. And me and you have never really had any fucking problems. So I think it'd be fun. Now, what does this ungrateful bastard do? He blocks me. Okay, all right. Now, they're telling me to wrap this up. Hold on. I could do like 2 minutes. Hold on. Listen. I said, anyway, there's no pressure. It's just to try out bits. This bastard went to the RA and the campus police and filed a fucking report. Now, let me say this. If Charles wasn't threatening physical violence the next time he sees me, I would have no problem. I'd be like, you know what? I do deserve it. Whatever happens, happens. But that's what's the fucking happened. That's what's happening. He's been talking his mouth. He's running his mouth. And he's upset because I pulled the pocket knife. It never left my home. I could do whatever the fuck I want. So he needs to get off his high little bitch horse. Here's the difference between people like me and him. I'm a self-made, self-sufficient, multi-millionaire, eccentric businessman who travels the world and sucks off powerful people. to maintain, geopolitical relations. He doesn't. That's why he's jealous. He's jelly. And, I'm sorry I robbed you, dude. It was an accident. I don't remember doing it. I went to bed with no clothes on. I woke up with your shit in my pockets and no recollection of the night's events. And by the way, everybody was at that fucking party. Everybody saw me going like, no, I don't want to drink tonight. Nah, I'm gonna chill. And it was fucking Liam who kept going, nah, bro, one more beer, one more this, one more that. By the way, I can't wait to wash my hands off of all of you dumb bitches. Fuck every last one of you. I'll get dirty. We have receipts of fucking everything. Yes, Sherrar, I stole your car keys, but I paid for them. I paid for the replacement. I don't know where they are. They try to come to my house and strong arm me. No, I don't play. So, whatever the fuck they want to do. But I mean, I'd love to just clear the air, and we could all have a lovely fucking Christmas. I have a song I want to play for the outro, and this is really just quite some bullshit. But I thought I like to air out the dirt. I love to air out the dirt because it's like, see people like act like, they could just talk shit and like, I'm not going to tell their girlfriends that they have rape allegations. Let's talk about it, Charles. Come on the pod. I'm inviting you on, bitch. But anyway, I mean, I think I'd best wrap this up with some fucking Kanye. You know what I mean? Fucking, what a sample for you, bitch. Hold on.
We'll all be free. Take it from me. Someday we'll all
be free.
Just wait and see.
By the way, that was what that girl said. Wait, he had her locked in his room. She was just crying like, God, one day it's all gonna be over.
Waking up till I can't do this anymore. Text. And the Bible said I can't have any more sex.